Oh, it's a sad episode today. Um, Portland falls in overtime, 132 to 137 to uh, the runner-up MVP, most likely Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. Welcome to the Rip City Roundtable podcast, brought to you by Blazers Edge, hosted by Corey Dickman. That's who I am. Sponsored by Kalshi, our predictive market sponsor. And this was a game, if you didn't watch it and you're just listening to me or watching us on YouTube, wherever you're catching the show here. If you didn't watch it, you're just doing this. It was tough, man. It was a tough game. We'll dive into it. As always, I think I like to talk about this. I don't talk about it enough, but like Blazers Edge is your spot for content, written, video, analysis, updates, breaking news, all the things. Dave Deckard, managing editor, great staff, great crew. I don't know if you don't read it, check it out, blazersedge.com. Kalshi, part of our sponsorship, kalshi.com/blazersedge, right? Use that promo code, $20 for your first trade. You can trade sports. You don't have to trade oil, which is probably great right now, unless you had it earlier. But you can do sports. You can trade the Blazers. Last night, I traded Blazers that they would basically not lose the game by more than 10.5 points. The percentages were good on that. I felt good the Blazers were going to hang. I was tempted to take the Blazers outright in a win and trade that. That would have been a good return on my money. I didn't, because I'm a Blazers fan, and y'all know that too. And I was a little skeptical. You never know. The Blazers haven't won in Denver since 2016, and that's a long time. Evan Turner was on the team. If that gives you any sense of how times have changed for the Portland Trail Blazers. So Kalshi is a great spot. Check it out. Kalshi.com/Blazers Edge. It's up here in the ticker. If you're watching on YouTube, it'll be in the caption. If you're listening to us on podcast platforms. So anyway, but love Blazers Edge. Check out the content. Dave did a great piece, an analysis after the game, so you can go check that out. If you don't want to read an analysis, you just want to read just boop, 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 what happened. Give me the rundown quarter by quarter. Lano did a great job over there too with that piece. So my little tidbit here is it was a fantastic game. The Blazers were just raining threes to the point where the Denver bench, anytime a three went in, specifically in the second half, the reaction, they were just like, flailing. Another three went in, and part of that is just they need to chill, the bench of the Denver Nuggets. The other part was, the Blazers set a franchise record for most threes in a game, and then lose, which is really unfortunate, which was actually interesting because the Memphis Grizzlies set an NBA record for threes and lost as well. So don't get all caught up in the 3-point line, everybody. It doesn't, maybe it's not all it's cracked up to be, but the Blazers shot so well. Tumani went out of body experience from 3-point land. He was 8 for 13 for the game. At one point, he was 8 for 11 from the 3-point line. We've talked about it on this show. His form is incredible. He looks good when he's shooting the ball. So it's a matter of time, and he has confidence. Tiago and the coaching staff are clearly telling him, shoot the ball. Teams are still leaving him open. The one he missed, one of the ones he missed in the fourth quarter, he was wide open in the corner and he clanked it. And it was like, too money. But so he had a fantastic game. It ended weird for him, which ended up hurting the Blazers because they go to overtime. But Tumani gets a ticky-tack foul, I would call it, on one end of the court, and then on the other end of the court, he gets a loose ball foul called, and it was a matter of 2 minutes when he picks up his fifth and sixth foul, and he fouls out of the game in the fourth quarter. Very ticky-tack. The Nuggets they complain a lot. They work the refs. Jokic is yelling all the time. It's just an aspect of a team that's won an NBA championship. It's at home. It's in Denver. They're coming back. They were down 18 points in this game, third quarter going to fourth quarter. So the comeback is happening. The energy's in the building. So Tumani picks up his sixth foul, which was really unfortunate because he was having a night, at least from 3-point land. Great efficiency in 35 minutes. So 30 points for Tumani led the way for the Blazers. So that's a big highlight here. I want to also touch on Avdia, our all-star, our guy. I mentioned this on the last episode. I've talked about this. We've not had anybody like Denny in recent history. And was even points in this game, and reason why the way he controls the game, the tempo. And there were points in the fourth quarter when the Nuggets were coming back. We were stalling. The Blazers were stalling. I'm always going to say we. I'm on the team. I don't know if you saw me out there last night, but we were stalling. And you can give the ball to Denny, and he can go make something happen. He can create. He has size. He can get to the rim, and he was getting foul calls. We were sputtering, give the ball to Denny, foul call. He missed a free throw in there. We won't kill him for that. But that's a positive. I think if you're trying to take away something from an overtime loss in Denver, which in itself is like a tremendous, the fact that we're in a game like this in April, when playoff seeding is very important for both teams. Jokic is trying to get to 65 games so he can get a postseason award, which that whole rule is hilarious. It's such a stupid rule, but it's forcing Jokic to play all these games and play at a really high level. For Portland to go hang in a game like this, it was incredible. You wouldn't have said this 2 months ago, 3 months ago, right? So we go in and we're winning. Like, we're expecting to win now in the fourth quarter. We're probabilities in our favor. The game is slipping away, and you give the ball to Denny, and Denny can change the tempo. He can take the momentum that Denver has and at least maybe not swing it back to Portland, but put a blockade up a little bit, right? We're hanging on to this lead. And so Denny he's a guy that gives me hope that I know there's like this slim little percentage chance that Portland could make any sort of noise in the playoffs. I know we have to get in the playoffs first. We've got to get out of the play-in. But a guy like Denny and this Portland Trailblazers team, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying not to say too. We're probably still 2 years away or whatever people want to say to put the defenses up, the guard up. But because of Denny, I believe the Trailblazers have a chance in any game. Klingon and Robert Williams, another point I wanted to make. You have this two-headed center right now that is incredible. Incredible. Put the pause there for emphasis. Donovan is he is who we hoped he'd be. He's a big guy. We knew that already, but he's skilled. He offensive rebounds, the blocks. He gets into it. He just gets nitty gritty. Like tonight, UConn played Michigan for the national championship game. So they kept referencing, Donovan and UConn winning back-to-back championships when he played there. And I see it because this guy's a winner and he gets at it. And so you put Donovan, then you pair him with Rob, who, like, this is the Rob Williams. Like, everybody find wood to knock on. I'm knocking on the wood if you can't hear it. If he stayed healthy, this is what not only the Blazers hoped for out of Robert Williams, but like what any team would have hoped for in when potential trades were out there. The Celtics, who gave up on him, this is the Rob Williams. So you throw the double-headed dragon of Klingon and Rob against a guy like Jokic all game. Brutal. The Blazers, remember, we used to just rotate 4 center. It was like Ayton, and then you had Duop out there, and it was just, you had so many centers. We had so many centers, and now it's like, these are the 2 that make the most sense. And so, yeah, the Blazers kept to a really, basically a playoff roster, right? Tonight, they were basically played 8 people. Sydney played 8 minutes. Sydney Sissoko, he played 8 minutes. Denver played 9 players. Valanciunas was the lowest at 10 minutes, but Valanciunas played a vital role at the beginning of the fourth quarter because that's where Jokic sits, and the Blazers could have extended that lead, and instead, because of Valanciunas, he I think he had 7 straight points, just little turnaround jump shots. Open 3 he nailed. Like, he kept them He kept them where they needed to be while Jokic was out of the game. And that's really where Portland lost it, right? It was that 3 or 4 minute stretch in the start of the fourth quarter to about the 8-minute point when then Jokic came back in the game. Portland did not extend the lead. That needed to go from 18 to 14 to 24, right? With Jokic off on the bench. And then maybe Jokic never comes back in, or he comes back in for 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Denver can't get over the double digit hill, and then he leaves the game. Portland's out of here with a win. So that's probably the mistake. That's where Thiago has to press into these guys. This is our time to win the game right now. This 12 to 8 minute point in the fourth quarter, you got to win the game, and they didn't win the game. So Klingon and Rob, great. Klingon 18 and 12. Rob 6 and 6, but just played really great defense. Some of the switches Rob struggles with, and so does Klingon. Letting Aaron Gordon get free for Denver. Really, Aaron Gordon was the guy. He ties the game on a 3. He hit another 3 in overtime to kind of start the action. So that part is tough, and that's kind of a scheme a little bit. But the Blazers were still. It's a young team, and we're going against a veteran Denver team at home, coming off a big win against the Spurs. You got to be ready to close those games, and Portland Trail Blazers just weren't ready to close tonight. Go down the rest of the list. You had the guards. Drew Holiday had 19 and 6, another really steady game for Drew. And then Scoot, man, 18 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. He was 4 for 8 from the 3-point line, so 50% shooting for Scoot. And you know what, guys? Ready? Play the drum roll. 1 turnover. That's awesome. Good job, Scoot. 1 turnover. That's what we need. 1 turnover from Scoot. Played control. He looked good down the stretch. Hitting the 3, jumper in the lane. Like I don't know. Let's not give up, everybody. Let's not give up. Let's stay with him. But my guy, my player of the game, I know Tumani, crazy from 3-point line. Klingon played big time. Denny is our guy. But Matisse Thybulle, man, this was Matisse's game. He would have had the game ball. Matisse, I think people think he's like 38. I think I even think that sometimes because of like just the way our team is so young, and then he's been injured a lot, yada, yada. He's like 29 years old. Matisse is still young, in the prime of his career. And Matisse had 14 points. He was everywhere. He had, how many steals did 5 steals for Matisse Thybulle tonight, and it might have been 10. Like, he had 5 steals, but at least 5 or 6 deflections that either caused stoppage in play or made the Nuggets do something they didn't want to do. Incredible. Incredible. When Matisse is healthy and he's out there with Tumani and Klingon, oh my word. Like, the Blazers at another level on a defensive. And it's hard for a guard to give that kind of impact, I think, on the defensive end. He's not Wemby. He's not 7'8" out there with a 9'9" wingspan or whatever Victor has. But Matisse is like, he gets in the passing lanes, he applies a lot of pressure, and he makes the ball handler like think, okay, where is he at? Like Jokic, who's arguably one of the best passers in the NBA, I mean, clear turnover in the fourth quarter off a set play because Matisse just kind of snuck out, stole the ball. Like, it was like one of those where you looked at it and you're like, oh, that's like a JV play against varsity or something. Like, Matisse just stole the ball. So he was my player of the game. He can still be the player of the game, even though they didn't win, I guess. But Matisse is big time. And I'm going to say this, if the Blazers are going to push a series, if they're going to make the playoffs, and they're going to push the Spurs or the Thunder, wherever the Blazers land, Matisse is going to be a big part of that. And so all in all, everybody, it was a really fun game. It embodied what the Blazers are this season, which is a young, fast, up and coming team, plays defense, guards you 94 feet. The 3-point shot that's abnormal for the Blazers. And so somebody could look at that and say, well, if they shot even anywhere close to where they're supposed to shoot from 3-point line, this wouldn't even been a close game. Blazers are a tremendous offensive rebounding team too. So, maybe they get boards there and still convert. But Heartbreaking loss. It would have been great to get off the schneid there in Denver with like 17 straight losses. I think it was 17 straight losses in Denver. So now make it 18. And real quick, how does this impact the Blazers going forward? Okay, so that's the other part of this. So the game is the one thing, the meta game is the other part, right? The how does this affect the standings? So right now, the Trailblazers are now a game back from the Clippers in the loss column. Okay, so that's important because we're now in the 9th spot in the West. We need to get to that 8th seed. So we have 2 chances to make the playoffs. So we got to catch the Clippers. We got to catch the Clippers. We got to catch the Clippers. That's just it. I'm going to say it 9 times. So the Blazers have 3 more games left. Okay, the next one against the Spurs in San Antonio. This is on ESPN Wednesday. So mark your calendars. The big thing, though, that happened tonight was Wemby got injured. He hurt a rib or a bruised rib or something. That's what the report is. We'll find out more as the week goes on. But if Victor doesn't play, now the Spurs are still a really good team and they're playing obviously really well and they've had a great season. But without Victor, that's a very winnable game for the Trailblazers. Whereas before, it's like you're going to play Jokic and Victor Wembanyama back to back. Come on, what is the league? Adam Silver, who does the schedule? It's crazy. But if we get through that game and can pick up a win if they don't have Victor, then the showdown with the Clippers happens. Okay, which is big. We need that one on April 10th. Or, everyone show up. That's a home game. Go to Moda. Sell out crowd. And then the last game of the season is the Kings. So that's like I told you, the Blazers should just say we're good as a franchise. We're fine. We will let the next G League team take our place because we're just going to leave the NBA if they lose that game against the Kings at home. So 3 games left. We need them all, especially the Clippers game. If you look at the Clippers schedule, it's really irrelevant what happens because if the Blazers win out, based on the conference record that the Clippers have and the Blazers have, we win the tiebreaker. So it really doesn't matter what happens as long as the Blazers can take care of their business, as they like to say. However, if the Clippers somehow lose the next 3 games or something, or 2 games, and the Blazers win that April 10th one, then there's no drama at all. And so the remaining Clipper schedule is pretty light. Well, except for one. Well, I don't know. Okay. Mavericks. They play the Mavericks Tuesday night. That's probably a win for the Clippers. The Mavericks are doing it, are giving Flag the ball and say, go, dude. We don't really care if we're going to win. Go score. Then they play the Thunder. That's probably a loss. Then they play the Blazers on the 10th, and then they ended against the Warriors, which is interesting because that could be a gimme game. The Golden State could just be sitting players because they would be geared up for either a matchup against the Portland Trailblazers, us in the 9-10 play-in, or they'd be playing the Clippers in the 9-10 and maybe don't want to show anything when they rest their guys because it doesn't matter. The Warriors are in the 10th spot. That's what's going to happen. So at the end of the day, we just have to win out. Portland, just handle the business, get the 8th seed, get 2 shots at the playoffs. Let's get into a playoff series. Oh, Rip City Roundtable podcast coming to you after playoff games. Wow, you're going to see me just in a whole different mood. That's going to be incredible. So anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for checking out the show today. We appreciate listening, subscribing to the channel, following us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review, a nice review, a little, hey, Corey's cool, whatever. Check out blazersedge.com. Go to Kalshi and create an account and click our link in the caption of the episode or the description of the episode. If you're on YouTube, it's right here above my head here, kalshi.com/blazersedge. Go check us, go there, get a first trade in, $20. I picked the Blazers, pick the Blazers against the Spurs. I don't know what the line will be, but I think the Spurs are at home, so they'll clearly be favored. And I think Wemby will sit, and whatever the game spread is, just put money on the Blazers. So trade the Blazers. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to the Rip City Roundtable podcast. Thank you to Rogue Media Network for producing this sucker. And as always, it is a great day to be a Blazer.